next?
You're incredible. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm serious. You think I could have done that without you standing next to me being strong? Are you feeling this? Are you feeling the guys I'm feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm cold.
You cold?
Yeah.
Let's get to Virginia, man. Just keep your head now. Turn around. He's all right. We didn't do it. Whoa! Get back here. Let's go. You're under arrest. So I told you about my brother, yeah? Something happened. I don't know exactly what. He's been arrested. He's being held at Rikers Island.
Love,
Oh my God, that's awful.
make me clean.
Just gotta get him out of there before something bad happens. He could get killed in there.
The pure always act from love. Damned always act.
You need another 10 grand. You get another 10 grand, your brother will get out.
The truth is an act of love.
I think something very important is happening, and it's deeply connected to my purpose.
Every day I think about untwisting and untangling these strings I'm in to lead a pure life. Look ahead in a clear sky. I ain't gonna get there. But it's a nice dream. It's a nice dream.
Welcome to Movie Humpers. I am Bob Sham.
I am Angela.
The sounds you hear, probably dogs. Mm-hmm. Our theme this month, asshole. The asshole on film. Assholes on film.
There's been some big assholes.
Some big gaped
This
out
month.
fucking dribbling assholes. Yeah, and we're hitting up our first Safdie Brothers movie with Good Time. We watched Uncut Gems probably a couple years ago.
Uncut Gems.
It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
So I was excited to follow up with one of their previous releases. They've got about 4 full-length movies out there, I think.
Okay.
And Good Time is probably the other more well-known one. But I think this functions. This is like a neo-noir, a modern crime drama. And it seems like their bag, really.
Yeah.
From what we've seen so far. We've been seeing Benny Safdie, who plays a very important role in this movie,
Yes.
pop up other things, and it seems like this guy's got quite some acting chops. Playing a Hungarian physicist in Oppenheimer.
I'm kind of in love with him.
He plays the closeted gay mayor in Licorice Pizza.
Very good.
And then this movie where he's playing someone with developmental or intellectual disabilities. And this movie is actually on our movie roulette subcategory of a challenging performance for everyone.
Well, I will say this was not a challenging performance for him. He was amazing.
But was it challenging for us knowing that he's not challenged yet portraying someone challenging? That's the point of the subcategory.
I do get that.
But it somehow seems to work in a way where maybe if you're watching Radio or The Other Sister, where you're not like... But here, I don't know, it seems more... It's a very visceral movie.
Yes.
So you're kind of lost in that tone.
And perhaps it's more palatable because he is not the main character.
Yeah.
He's a very important character in this movie. But it's not him the whole time that we're watching. He has very particular moments.
Yeah, he's kind of a tragic character.
Yes.
But he doesn't, overwhelm the whole movie as a tone.
That first scene.
Because a lot of people, when they're playing someone with intellectual disabilities, ends up being unintentionally funny. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they seem to overdo it.
Yeah.
They need to constantly physically show you that something's going on. And that was what was so great about his performance is how understated it was. Like the first scene where he's sitting down with this therapist.
Yeah, like a court-appointed psychiatrist.
Yeah, well, yeah, and he's asking, he's being asked these questions, and he obviously doesn't completely understand everything he's being asked, and you can just tell that there's a frustration in him, and he just has this, single tear.
Yeah.
That runs down, and no one comments on it, and it fucking killed me from the beginning.
And he's co-directing the movie with his brother Josh, and also he co-edited the movie.
Good job.
It also stars Robert Pattinson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Talia Webster, Buddy Duress, and Barkhad Abdi.
I've never really thought very much. I've not thought negatively about Twilight, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. I know he's the new Batman, but I've never seen him in anything where I've been like, oh, dude, this movie, that boy can act.
There's something about like, what's the who played Harry Potter? I forget his name.
Oh yeah,
Daniel something.
Radcliffe.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think Pattinson's in the same boat ever since those Twilight movies. That they're like, can we please find roles that are completely different?
Yeah.
So that's why Radcliffe was like running around naked on stage not long after.
Yep.
Why he's in like fucking, wasn't he in Swiss Army Man, that crazy ass movie?
I love that movie.
By them Daniels. And
Daniels.
And I think you see Pattinson in this movie fucking crushing it, honestly.
Yeah.
Just playing this fucking this movie bounces all around Queens and like the western part of Long Island. He's an interesting guy to I think the best asshole is one where you're like, I've known like 5 assholes like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because the asshole in question that we're focusing on here is, his name is Konstantin
Nikos.
I think
Because his brother's Nicholas Nikos.
Yeah, and they're Greek or something, and
They call him Connie.
he's a fucking mess, right? And he comes and gets his brother. He's the asshole of the movie. And throughout the movie, everything he's doing is like some kind of lie. Everything he's doing is like some kind of con.
Yeah.
Because he's just reacting into these moments to get to this point. And everything he's doing is for his brother. But everything that his brother is going through is because of him.
Yes, it's this weird thing where you almost want to kind of say, but he's trying to be helpful, except he's not.
Excuse me.
You Peter?
Yes, I am. We're in the middle of... Hello?
Nick, what are you doing?
We're in the middle
Come
of
on.
something here. We're in the
Come
middle
on,
of an
get up.
exam.
You
Hey,
asked
hey,
me
Nick,
about
Nick.
the stuff and the pan and the
Wait,
chicken.
wait, please.
How
Nick.
would you like it if I made you cry, huh? Would you like that?
No, I would not.
Come on,
could-
get up.
but
They
wait,
told me I had to do this
Let's
stuff.
go.
Let's
go.
But he has all my stuff. Goes down all my
Nick,
stuff.
we're
Shut
so-
up then.
Nick,
This
we're
is
really
my
good
work.
here.
This is my stuff,
Nick,
okay?
oh, shame on you, Connie,
Shame on
brother.
me?
You're not helping.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
He wants his brother to not be treated as though he's different than anyone else. So because of that, he's not accepting that his brother is different and might need help. He is wanting them to run away and get away from their grandma and like start a new life. But is that what's best for his brother? He's wanting to do things for his brother, but he's not thinking about what's best for his brother.
After the court-appointed psychiatrist, we see Connie and his brother Nick, their masks on, and they're robbing a bank, and he's giving a note to the lady, that style of bank robbery, saying, I'm armed, you need to put so-and-so amount of money. She gives him all this money. They're wearing these like masks that make them look like black men if they got stung by bees.
This is another one of those like tiny moments where just at one point Nick is like pulling at it and Connie's like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Just be still, be quiet. Listen to me, you know? And he's always like trying to build his brother up. Like, I need you here. Like, you're the strong one. Like, I need you to do this. He makes a giant mistake. And this was a movie where I was talking to the screen a lot because I was like, please don't do what you're doing right now. She gives him everything in her drawer and writes him a note back that's like, this is all I have, policy. They could have just left. But because he insisted on more money, she went in the back. And then that's when they booby-trapped the money.
Well, you see that coming.
I know.
Like a mile away.
I know.
Because they're
That's
not,
why it's so frustrating. It's like, just get out with what you can get.
like even just not living this life and knowing anything about any heist movie from the past 20 years is that they rig up the money. I'm surprised there wasn't any kind of a tracker or anything in there.
I know.
But yeah, they do put like paint bombs in this shit. And sure enough, they're getting in the car with their dude and the thing goes off and they're all covered in red paint and they have to go into a bathroom and they scrub this off and they have layers of clothes on to where they can kind of shed. And his brother, he doesn't really do anything. He's just standing there. It's Connie that's doing all the the note giving, the instruction, all
Yes.
that. So, you know, he's just being manipulated. The police know that they're looking for somebody. They've shed their paint clothes.
And they've tried to wash themselves off. They're still a little red-faced.
A police car's coming down the block, and Connie's just being like, be cool, be cool, be cool. Of course, Nick, who barely knows what's going on, is scared out of his mind, and he just starts running.
Yeah.
And they're together for a minute, and Nick ends up running through, like, a glass door.
And cuts himself all up.
And he's fucked up, and he's flopped down, but Connie just keeps running.
And Connie had hidden the money.
Yeah.
The red paint money.
Nick is the one that gets arrested while Connie's running around, and we see Nick in Rikers getting like lumped in with all these guys, and there's a big fight, and it's interesting because Nick, you can tell that he is a guy that probably has had to fight a lot. You know, as we go throughout the movie, we see these news reports pop up because, of course, they're looking for Connie. You see their grandmother show up on the screen, and the issue that sent Nick to the prison psychiatrist to begin with was that she apparently, something happened where Nick broke her arm, but she's blaming Connie for the scenario.
Yes.
Like in the report, she's like, if it wasn't for his brother, he never would be in that position. So now the whole movie is just this tense, very shaky, very like zoomed in images of people. And a lot of times there's certain movies that feels kind of shitty, but this one, it builds the congestion. It generates a claustrophobic sense of panic into this scramble because Connie's now he's taken the stained money and to bail him out, but like he's 10 short because the guy's not like, he obviously is robbery money, but
he's gonna take the money.
He'll take the money that isn't covered in fucking red dye and be like, oh, I can't take that. But he needs $10,000 more, so he goes to his girlfriend, Jennifer Jason Leigh, who looks like she's about twice his age.
She is.
But she's living with her mother in this
and
apartment.
They're constantly fighting. Something's up with her, too.
Well,
Like,
she's completely fucked.
Yeah, she's not good.
Jennifer Jason Leigh continuing a tradition of playing completely damaged women in movies.
I mean, she's good at it.
She
was good in this.
He's given her half a story. He's told a lie about what's happened. And so he takes her to the bail guy. And then he's popping on. At first, he's like, oh, it's just a few thousand. It's just 2,000. Like, it's constantly changing.
And they're going to put it on her mother's credit card.
I tell you, a couple hours, right?
Yeah, you got the full 10?
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah. Hey, you do credit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Amor, cógele el crédito.
$10,000?
Yep, we do.
You said it was like a couple $1,000.
What's the loan? You get it back the same time as the 3. What's the difference?
It's like $7,000 difference, you know?
It's for my brother, and you're gonna get back the same day, right? Right?
Yeah, she'll get it back.
You'll get it back.
She loves him, but she's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, baby. And then they're trying to run this shit. And, of course, her mom gets the notification. She cancels the card. So it's that drama. So he has to take
And there's
off.
yelling, and then the bail bondsman's mad, and it's so tense.
So then he's like, oh, I got to go to St. Joseph's. I don't have the money. I'm just going to go get...
Well, he finds out, the bail bondsman calls to see, like, when they think they're going to pay it, to see if his brother can get bailed
They
out that
find
night.
out he's actually in the hospital.
Because he got in this fight, because there was, you know, communication issues, because he's in with Gen Pop. And so then he's like, I got to go get my brother out of the hospital.
So he goes to St. Joseph's on the floor where they keep prisoners. He sees a cop parked outside the way. He's like just bullshitting this cop, like for like the way he's doing. I feel like it's like if you just hanging out on the street or walking down certain parts of town, people just feeding you fucking stories, some line, and it's like, why is any of this being said right now?
Yeah.
And that's Connie all the way.
Well, and there's that extra bit that's like so stupid of like, he's doing it to try to get information. The thing about Connie is he has no foresight. He does not think past his next action.
Exactly.
Whatever matters is just the very next thing he's doing and why he's doing that very
He's
thing.
reacting to the last thing he did.
Exactly. So in that moment, he doesn't think, I don't need to have a full conversation with this cop because then this cop is going to know my face and remember me. He's thinking, I need to get information from this cop. So he's trying to figure out like,
But he doesn't get anything.
he doesn't get anything, but it is kind of, he also seems to want everyone to like him. Because that is actually a trait of a sociopath or a psychopath or can be, is that if you can get people to like you, then you can manipulate them.
So the cop walks away and he goes in and he sees his brother all bandaged up You don't recognize him. We
Can't
saw
see
him.
his face.
We saw him get the shit kicked out of him. So he's carting his brother, passed the fuck out on painkillers. They get into one of those shuttle cabs that often you get when you go from airports to hotels. And he has to talk the guy into going into this extra step. It's another lie to get to another different place. Then they drop him off in this
But they're
place.
in a random neighborhood.
Yeah, they're in a random neighborhood. And then they find a lady who was on the shuttle.
Because her husband
And
was in a wheelchair.
And he talks this lady into using her phone, and it's this grandmother and her granddaughter, and it's all these little details of like everyday people in this area who maybe aren't well to do. She's talking about like, yeah, you can use my phone, but you got to keep it plugged in because the battery's wonky.
You can watch the TV, but the remote doesn't work.
It's just
so you have to change it.
These
That was
little
so
little
good.
details of like the environments that they're going in and out of.
They go into the fridge at one point, like he's looking for something to eat, and the granddaughter's like, "Don't look in the fridge." And it's just like jars of like, who knows what the fuck is she's either doing like spells or making kombucha. I have no idea.
I don't think it's spells.
I know, I'm just
it's
kidding.
some old shit.
But like it looked like it was gross, and you know.
So the lady has to go to bed, and she offers the room for her brother because they only see this guy bandaged up.
for Nick, Connie's brother.
And so he's trying to call on the phone to get pickups from like some of his people.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah. He's just chilling with this girl. This girl is 16. She's very typical 16-year-old, very
She's getting
dismissive of her grandma. She's like, I don't care about this lady.
Stays up all night.
And then they're watching like fucking Cops on Spike. And then he sees himself pop up on a news report, and to keep her from looking at it, he starts making out with this 16-year-old.
He's also bleached his hair with some random bleach in
Yeah,
the
just
kitchen.
took
He just
the
goes in their
bleach.
bathroom and starts dyeing his hair, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
So he takes her to the bedroom to continue the distraction, and then like they're going to do something, and then you hear a voice from the bedroom where his brother's at.
Where the fuck am I?
And the voice is a lot more lucid than we know that his brother actually sounds, and we discover that the person he drugged from the hospital is not his brother at all. So the brother's still at the hospital, and it's this guy who, now he's running around with this guy. And then this guy, they managed to get the girl to take their grandmother's car, so they're all riding together. And this guy goes on this mad tripping story about how he, like, went and got some acid, got a Sprite bottle full of like liquid LSD, like loaded, and talking about how he's tripping his ass off, and he got chased into him and his boys
Amusement park.
and one of his boys stole money from robbed a Radio Shack, which kind of makes this all seem like it was more than 10 years ago, all this
I
time frame,
know.
right? And then, so he's got a bag full of money, and then they're all being chased, and he's so fucked up, he doesn't even remember. And then he's like freaking out in a cab and jumps out of a cab, and that's how he's all fucked up and in the hospital.
Yeah,
in the
so
first
but
place.
the only part that Connie hears of this whole story is
Money.
you stashed some money and some acid in the amusement park, so now we got to go there.
So they go there, and this whole...
They leave the girl in the car.
The details of the scene where they're having to like throw like car floor mats over to get over the barbed wire, and the dude, of course, is fucked up that he's with, and he has to get back down and lift him back up. It's these
because they're trying to sneak into the back of the amusement
these
park.
little things that add to this like manic crackhead tension, right?
Yeah.
That just like the thing that he has to do over and over again to make this thing work. And yeah, like you said, he's just reacting to the very last thing to get to the last thing. It's all about his brother, but he can get this money to get his brother out. But now everyone's looking for him, so it's not like he can go in and bail his brother out, but he's just going to get arrested.
But there's a security guard.
Yeah, and the security guard catches them.
Well, he catches the injured guy looking for Connie, and Connie ends up beating the fucking shit out of him and putting on his clothes.
It fucks this guy up. And they're like, oh shit, because everything's on camera, and they take his clothes, and then they take this Sprite bottle full of liquid acid,
and
they dump like a chunk of it. Like, they dumped like
too much.
Like, equivalent of 200 plus,
Literally.
200 doses into this guy.
Literally, dude goes, he's not going to remember shit about tonight, and pours it in his face.
And they know the cops are coming, so they have the one guy hide, and Connie's dressed up like a guard. The guard.
And he gives them the security guy as the person who broke in.
And of course, the security guy is tripping like insane.
Can't speak.
Can't even say a straight sentence.
Yeah.
And they cart his ass off. So now they've got his keys to his house and shit. And they end up going to his house.
Which is insane.
And there's a thing where Connie's like really good with dogs.
Yeah, he does mention that at one point. He said, he tells the 16-year-old, who also at this point has gotten taken away by the cops.
Yeah.
He tells the girl that he thinks he was a dog in a past life because that's why dogs love him so much.
Yeah, and he gets the security guard's pit bull at his apartment. He had a very nice apartment.
He did have a really nice apartment.
And he gets the pit bull to like him, but now they're having to negotiate with this guy who fronts the acid to come pay a lot of money to get this acid back. But of course, the dude that he's with, they're not going to help Connie out because obviously, but Connie is just trying to get this money. They couldn't find the bag of money. They only found the bottle of acid, right?
Yeah, they found the bottle. The bag of money was confusing to me. Like, I know that's what kind of started the fight or what started them running and ending up stashing things. But yeah, they found the acid, but that was all they had. So then they had to try to get money for that. And of course, he's trying to get $10,000 out of this guy.
Right.
And the guy's trying to bargain with him.
And he's all over the fucking news.
Yeah. And the guy, I can't remember his name, but he goes, Khalif or something. And he goes to get the money. And so then it's just the injured guy and Connie and the dog in the apartment supposed to be waiting. But then
the police are coming. So Connie starts to run, and we see the dude who...
Well, Connie was also going to leave because he was like, I don't believe you.
So yeah, Connie just takes off. And the dog doesn't like the other guy, so it kind of traps him in.
Attacks him.
So the guy's looking out the balcony, and he sees the police. This is how you see Connie get arrested. It's an overhead shot of him looking down.
So good.
And you just see him drop the Sprite bottle, and
it rolls across the roof.
And then they tackle him. So he's talking to his dude, like telling him where the Sprite bottle is. So Connie's getting arrested. And then dude, of course, cops know where to go.
They start banging on the door.
And he starts to climb out onto the balcony. And you see Connie and the cop like looking up. This guy like trying to cross balconies, and he falls and fucking gets his ass killed. And then from there, I mean, we just kind of went through a whole lot very quickly.
We really did. But then there's this moment where Connie's in the back of the police car. And actually, that moment, that all felt very real. Like, it felt so real. But then, and then you kind of like, you get this image on Connie's face, and he's in the back of the police car. And it sat on him for a while, like him just riding in the police car. And you don't know, though, like, what I kept asking myself in that moment was, does he even understand the gravity of what has just happened? Is he now realizing that he's just totally fucked everything up? Or is he still thinking, like, what do I do next? I don't know.
Well, all that's left to do at that point is probably what he should have done at the very beginning. But I want to get into a few details on Connie's character here. It's interesting because when he's sitting and he's watching that episode of Cops with the young girl who's played by Talia Webster, it's this thing where this crazy lady is getting drug out of a car and she has a knife and she falls on the knife. I don't know if it's a real episode or made up, you know?
I don't know.
But like, he's like, turn this shit off. I don't want to see them explain their way out of this one, you know, because they seem like they just tackled a lady onto her knife.
Yeah.
But then there's a point where when they first go into the security guard's apartment, the other guy he's with who was trying to find the money and knew about the acid, he immediately goes to the fine liquor on the guy's shelf. And then Connie starts going on this trip and starts judging him.
Look at you, you're drunk as shit. Now you want to get real with me?
Don't fucking flatter yourself, bro. I'm not trying to get real with you. You know what? I'm fucking real. I'm trying to talk to you. All right? Go fuck yourself, man. Think you're better than me.
I am better than you.
You're an ignorant fuck, bro. No one's better than any next man, all right? You don't know me from Adam.
The second you got here, went to the booze and you got fucked up, but that's fine.
So
That's just who you are. You're a fuck up. That's it. I don't care.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
give a shit.
You shouldn't give a shit. Who gives a shit? I definitely don't give a shit.
Look, losers like you are incapable of taking care of themselves. You're either leeching off mommy, or leeching off welfare, or living off the government in jail. That's you.
You don't know the first thing about me, bro.
What's to know? What's to know? You serve absolutely no function whatsoever. It's pathetic.
Connie is no better than this guy. And maybe Connie is or isn't, does or doesn't have a substance abuse problem. You can pinpoint this guy's issues if he does have a substance abuse problem. If he can ever get to the other side of it, then maybe there's hope for him. But Connie's doing all the dumb shit this guy's doing completely stone sober.
Yeah.
But Connie is in this position. Of course, Connie is projecting and calling the labels that, he's probably been called his whole life.
Yeah, and to him, he has a greater goal.
Yeah.
Of saving his brother.
From a situation that he made and that he willfully put his brother in.
Yeah.
So I thought that scene was very interesting, how he's like dressing this guy down.
Well, because
like
the
an
guy
ultimate
tries to
sense
actually...
of hypocrisy.
Well, and the guy's trying to actually like kind of get to know him a little bit.
So how much time are you facing?
She joins us now from Flushing with the details. Tyrone?
Well, that's right.
Come on, man, look at me.
I
don't care. I don't give a fuck. I know your situation can't be worse than mine. Everybody goes through shit. I'm the last one to judge.
And she blames him for an altercation with Nicholas that left her with a broken arm.
You ever do time before?
Okay, so he's going to flip it back on the other person of, well, you're a fucking loser. I'm not a loser. You're a loser.
Just saying shit that's been yelled at him his whole life. Just that classic, like, I'm going to call you the things that I am insecure about regarding myself. And he can grasp onto him hitting that liquor to, like, find that one little thing to set himself above that other guy.
Well, and back to the manipulation thing, one thing that I thought was really interesting is, he's got this 16-year-old girl to like steal her grandma's car, and they've driven, and they tell her that they're at the guy's house and they're gonna just like go in and take a shit. So wait in the car while they go to try to go into this amusement park. And she waits there so long until the police come and actually take her away. And the craziest shit about that is he convinces her, he actually says to her, he's like, man, I don't know what's going on tonight, but like, I just feel like there's something like bigger than me happening. And I feel like you're like part of that with me. Like, do you feel me? And she's like, yeah, I feel you.
Connie's a con.
And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, you're trying to like, in no uncertain terms, tell this girl that like, you think that y'all are gonna like be together or something. Like, you think there's like a greater thing pulling you together so that she'll do whatever you want. Like, he's just a fucking, Connie is a con artist.
Yeah. In moments like that, do you think he really feels like No, I don't think he really meant it. Like, is he what moments is he bullshitting himself, or is he bullshitting everyone else?
I think both. I mean, it's hard to know.
When you're in that deep, you're pretty much just doing both.
Because he does also feel like he's on a trajectory to getting to his brother, and he doesn't know exactly how he's going to get there. And I do think there might be part of him that's like, oh, maybe I did end up in this house on purpose for a reason. Maybe I did end up getting the wrong guy to the hospital so I could get the money. Like, there is also maybe part of him that somehow thinks that he's gonna get by on luck, because he keeps just like throwing shit at the wall, but he keeps moving. Like, there's no part where he goes, I can't do this, I'm fucking it up.
Yeah.
It's like, no, what's the next thing? I gotta keep going. And he keeps like thinking it's gonna work out. So there's a weird bit of like hope to him.
Yeah, he is a weirdly hopeful character, isn't he?
The only time that he takes responsibility and he does the right thing, we never even see him actually do.
At the very, very end.
At the very, very end, because we find out that he admitted, like, he told them that his brother had nothing to do with the planning. It wasn't his brother's fault, nothing to do with it. So his brother, Nick, actually, like, gets released. And you see, like, Grandma bringing Nick to see that same, like, court-appointed. I don't even know if he was. I guess he was court-appointed.
He's a court-appointed.
He's a good guy, though. Like, that guy.
He looks so familiar. I looked him up. He's not a guy that's been in a lot of things, but he just looks so familiar.
You know who? Sorry to go on that tangent. But you see Nick, and, the therapist is like, hey, I want you to go to this class. I think you'll really enjoy it. And he brings him in, and it's like, all these other folks are in there, and there's a teacher. She's like, let's do like a get to know you thing. This just really touched me, so I just want to talk about it for like a minute.
And the credits are rolling through this.
The credits are rolling, and a song starts playing as well, but you can still hear what they're saying. And she's like, the game we're going to play is everybody go to the side of the room, and I'm going to say something, and if it's true for you, walk across the room. But you don't have to walk across the room if it's true for you. If you don't want anybody to know, you can keep it to yourself. You don't have to. It's sort of like truth, but there's no dare, but you don't have to say whether or not it's real. And so they start saying things like, I've ever lied before. It's all this stuff. And then for a minute, he's just sitting there and you can tell he does not want to participate.
And then it's questions like, have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do?
And then he
starts to walk across the room. He starts to participate. And there's this song playing as it goes out. It's got this very deep, gruff guy. The music here was put together by Oniotrix Point Never.
So good.
And I don't know who the singer they got for this was, but he's singing these lines that, like, the pure always act from love, the damned always act from love. Putting a point end on, like, the flaws and the problems, and the reality is that as fucked up as everyone is, in their own way, that's probably the only method they know and how to love. You know Connie loves his brother, but he is also bad for his brother. Because you see Connie at the very beginning try to drag him away from a court psychiatrist. And it's like, because he feels like it's like they're talking down to his brother like he's lesser than.
When they're actually not.
No.
They're actually really not. And that's what, I don't know, just what hit me so hard at the end there was like, Connie's going to be in jail forever. Grandma's old.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone who doesn't have anyone else in the world. But maybe within this program that he's now finally going to get to participate in, because his brother isn't there to pull him away and tell him he doesn't need it, he can find a community.
This movie feels so current, feels so incredibly today. You're seeing kind of the future of movies, or at least good movies, and movies that are by people like the Safdie brothers. And it's very interesting to see their careers and their trajectory. And as they go on, they're also producing this documentary series on HBO called Telemarketers.
Oh, yeah.
About this call center area. I watched the first episode. It's really interesting, but I like to finish it up. Like, they just seem like they have their fingers into everything that seems to be extremely interesting, whether it be directing, producing,
acting,
writing, or just acting.
Yeah.
And all these things are all worth checking out. It's very fascinating duo, these guys. And they make some good shit. But yeah, we're going to rate this movie. You give it 1 through 5. I'm going to give it 1 through 5 combined for best out of 5. But before we do that, how would you rate Connie Nikas in the asshole scale? He does
9.
I'm going to give him an 8.5. You know, I get where it's a 9, but he's not a murderer, at least. Sorta. No, he could have easily. What would he have done if someone died?
Could argue he didn't actually murder that man, but that man who he took from the hospital would not be dead right now.
That guy, well, that security guard might be permanently damaged.
That
getting
security
dumped,
guard could
like,
be fucked.
2 whole sheets just
because
dumped in his
he beat him
face.
so hard in the head until he passed out, and then they poured acid. Like, he could be brain
So he's
damaged.
got a concussion likely, and he's fucking rolling on 200 plus hits worth. Jesus Christ. All right, but how old do you rate this movie?
I think it's at least a 4.5.
I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Okay.
So that is an 8.75. That is, we are hitting the A's. You know, there's a lot of A's.
There's a lot of A's. This one really got to me, though, man. Like, this really got to me.
So we're in Mysterious Skin, My Beautiful Laundrette, Leaving Las Vegas.
That fucking makes sense. This movie belongs in that group.
That's where we're at in that. Good Time is our 13th best A-tier movie, but we have a lot of fucking A-tier movies. I mean, we have a lot of A-tier movies because we want to watch good movies if we can help it.
You pick the movies and you have a good sense for movies. I
Yeah.
mean, we've actually had to try to have bad movies.
Well, maybe we should try harder. Maybe like this coming year, we'll just have we hear this movie sucks, so let's just sit down and watch it.
I mean, I think our roulettes have the potential to get us there.
We
just need to do more of them.
I think it is proof more that we want to be more positive in our discussions of movies. We don't really want to shit on things.
No, we want everything to be good. Even Tammy, we wanted Tammy to be good.
Yes, but it's not.
No.
We did Tammy, so we got a bad movie this one. All right, so hit the show notes for links and other places to find us. What did you think of Good Times? Are you into these Safdie boys? You keeping track like we are? I want to watch their other movies.
I do too.
And so, yeah, we'll probably get to that. Like and subscribe for more assholes this month.
Yeah.
How would you rate Connie Nikas and your asshole scale? Is he fully gaped or is he really tight? So there you go. Like and subscribe.
Death to all traitors.